So, do you want to be an attractive spouse? In fact, let's do a would you rather. So, would you rather be the spouse that your partner cannot do without you? They want to be around you, they love being around you, they can't imagine their life without you? Or would you rather be the spouse that your partner is just with you because, they've married you, they're with you out of obligation, they can't leave you, they can't divorce you. Maybe they're Christian and they know, oh, divorce isn't going to look good for them. And they're just with you because they're obligated to be with you. So would you rather be the spouse that your partner is with you because they want to be with you, they love to be with you, they truly cannot imagine their life without you? Or the one where your partner is just with you out of obligation? Obviously, I know that you want to be that partner that your spouse truly wants to be with you. That's what I want to be. I want to be that spouse that my husband wants to be with me. He looks forward to being with me all the time. So what I'm talking about in this video is how to be an attractive spouse, how to be an irresistible spouse. How can we be an irresistible spouse? Now, first of all, let me say that it is not what you think it is. It is not about beauty. It is not about looks. In fact, looks are going to fade. The Bible says it as well. Beauty will fade. Beauty and looks cannot sustain attraction. It's just the packaging. And let me give an example. Imagine you go to a store and you see this food product, the packaging looks very nice and you buy it because of the packaging. And when you get home, you open the product and see and try what is inside the packaging, and it tastes horrible. At that moment, the packaging would mean nothing to you because you've experienced something that's deeper than the packaging. So beauty will fade, looks will fade, broad chest will fade. I've seen beauty pageants divorce. I've seen really good looking men divorce. By the way, nobody's as good looking as my husband. So all of these things will fade, but what will make us attractive in the long term are things that I'm going to be sharing. So if this is your first time on this video, please subscribe, like the video, and stay tuned for more, to learn more. So the first thing that I would say would make you an attractive spouse, I would call it emotional maturity. And I'm sure that's a word that you've heard time and time and over again. Emotional maturity. A lot of people have talked about it online. You've probably read about it, but I want to simplify it. When it comes to marriage, emotional maturity will make you an irresistible spouse. And emotional maturity is really about being controlled. Emotional maturity means that you are not always blowing up over things. You don't blow up over things. You're not blowing up over text. You're not always fizzled out. You're not always shouting, throwing tantrums. You can't control yourself. You're very reactive. When things happen, you can't process what is going on. You're immediately reacting to situations. You are slamming the door, you are yelling and doing all that stuff. That makes you very unattractive. So if you really want to be an attractive spouse, work on your emotional maturity, meaning that learn to respond to situations and not react to situations. Learn to be chill. Learn to be really cool. And I remember I saying then, when we were growing up, they used to say cool, calm, and collected. So yes, learn to be cool, calm, and collected. Understand that you do not always have to react to things immediately. You can process how you feel. You can take a pause and choose to respond to situations. Now, when you are this kind of person, your spouse is really thrilled by you because you are not all over the place. You're not throwing tantrums. Emotional maturity is what differentiates kids from adults. So being an emotionally mature person means that you communicate clearly, you know what you are experiencing, you can choose the right time to talk. Now, being an emotional mature person is not about taking everything in. That's not what I'm saying. Emotional maturity means that you understand yourself, you are aware of the emotions you're experiencing, and you know when it's safe to express those emotions. You're not suppressing your emotions, but you are managing them. So it doesn't mean that you will never get angry. But when you get angry, you're not throwing things, you're not yelling, you're not shouting. You process your emotions and you find a good time to express that emotions through communication, through setting boundaries, and all of that. So being an emotional mature person will definitely make you an irresistible spouse. The second thing that makes you an irresistible spouse is that you have a vision and a purpose. You are driven. You know where you're going. Marriage is not the beginning and the end of your life. You have dreams, you have goals you're pursuing, you have things that drive you, and you are actively pursuing those things. When you have something that's driving you, it makes you, first of all, it prevents you from being distracted by everything. Secondly, it makes you it makes you someone that your spouse looks up to. You look to them like a partner because you're going somewhere. You don't look like a burden. Nobody really wants to be married to a burden. Nobody wants to be married to someone that, they're not going anywhere. They're just there. They don't have a purpose for their life. There's nothing driving them. They don't have any dreams. They don't have any passion for anything. They're just sitting down there. They're not doing anything. Whether you're a man or a woman, it makes you attractive when you are driven by something, when you pursue something. I can't count the number of times my husband has told me, "Oh, babe, I'm so proud of you, for building a company like Ruth's Marriage from the start without, having any form of major input from me, and you've been dedicated to it." That makes you attractive. Every husband or wife wants to see their partner doing something, driving something, and it doesn't have to be something complicated. It simply means that pursue a passion. If it is makeup that you like doing, if it is, YouTube videos like I'm doing now, even though I'm struggling with it, but I'm doing it nevertheless. Pursue something. When you do that, your spouse sees you as someone that, is an addition to their life, not just someone that they are dragging onto their life. So if you want to be an irresistible spouse, have a vision and a purpose that you pursue. The third thing, if we're going to number it, the third thing that makes you an irresistible spouse, an attractive spouse, is that you must learn how to love well. You must know how to love well. People get married because they want to experience love. Nobody gets married to, just be there and they are not being loved. They were, even when they were single, they were happier, they were better. They felt like their life was more enriching than when they are married. Nobody got married for that. Nobody got married to be in a marriage where, there's no love, there's no kindness, there's none of that. So if you want to be an attractive spouse, learn to love well. Know how to love. Know how to give kindness to your partner. Know how to be affectionate to your spouse. Know how to touch them. Know how to hold them. Know how to talk to them lovingly. Know how to be patient with them. Know how to serve them. Love is very attractive, and I believe that's why the Bible says love never fails. So if you are going to be that spouse that your partner wants to be with you all the time, they must feel love around you. If you're very harsh, unkind, mean, unaccommodating, you don't make sacrifices, you don't serve them, you don't do anything for them basically beyond the norm, they're just going to be with you because they've married you, so they have to just be with you. But if you want to be an irresistible spouse that your spouse cannot do without, learn to love them. Nobody can resist love. Even the hardest of person in this world does not resist love. Learn to be kind. Learn to be loving in your approach. Learn to touch them. Learn to hold them. Learn to show them that you love them. That makes you attractive, because when they're out there, it's harsh out there. So when they come home, they must feel like this is the place where I am most loved. So that makes you an irresistible spouse. The fourth thing that makes you an irresistible spouse is that you have to love yourself. Oh, you have to love yourself. Self-love leads to love from other people. You have to love yourself. If you are in a marriage and you neglect yourself, not only are you going to hurt yourself, you're also going to hurt your spouse, because you can't give what you don't have. So you have to prioritize loving yourself. And for me, that starts with seeing yourself the way that God sees you. Having that confidence in who God says you are, not in your achievements, not in what you're doing, not in how you look, but simply because you are made in God's image. So you have to give yourself a lot of love for you to be able to give your spouse love. Because when you give your spouse love is when you're attractive. So you have to love yourself. How do you take care of yourself? Are you always moody? Are you always looking tattered, even your physical self? Do you always feel overworked? Do you take up more than you can handle? You have to learn to let go, learn to delegate, learn to ask for help so that you can invest in yourself. Are you doing the things you love? Are you spending time loving yourself? Are you spending time being with yourself, enjoying your company? Or are you looking at yourself in the eyes of social media, what other people are doing, and that makes you feel like, oh, you're not enough, you're not doing well, things are not going for you, this person looks finer than you, this person looks stronger than you. No, you have to love yourself. You have to focus on yourself. Shift your focus on yourself. Focus on what you want to be, who you are. Who you are is constant in God, first of all. Now, if there are areas where you feel like you need to develop yourself, yes, go ahead and start to do those things. Give yourself so much love. It makes you attractive, because when you give yourself love, you would usually have love to give to your partner. When you are full of love, you would have love to give to your spouse. So if you want to be an attractive person, someone that your spouse wants to be with, you have to give yourself love. Another quality that makes you an irresistible spouse is integrity and consistency. You have to show up. Nobody likes people who don't show up. People who we can't take their words for it. You have to be a person of integrity. Nobody wants to be with a flirt, someone who's flirting with another man or another woman. Someone who we can't take their words from it. Oh, you say you're going here today, and then we check it out and we see that you were not here. Nobody wants to be with that person. So if you're going to be an irresistible and attractive spouse, show up. Be a person of integrity. Be a person of consistency. Do what you say and say what you do. It's that simple. When we can rely on you, when we can depend on you, that makes you an attractive person. Don't be the person who we can't trust you. The last quality that makes you an irresistible spouse is you have to be teachable. Or let me call it, you must prioritize self-development. Teachability, self-development. Nobody wants to be with someone who is not self-developing, who is not aware of their negative behaviors, and they're not doing anything to become better. So you have to be teachable. You have to self-develop if you want to be an irresistible spouse. One of the biggest qualities I love about my husband, and husband, if you're watching this, let me just say this publicly, is the fact that he takes feedback and he works on the feedback. If there are things that I have talked about, or it affects me, or I don't really like, he may immediately not just stop it, but usually I would realize that after a while, he would stop that behavior, or he would work on that behavior. And for me, that is attractive. For me, that is attractive because it makes me feel like this person values me. They want me to be happy the same way I want him to be happy. So one of the most irresistible qualities you can have if you're going to be an attractive spouse is you have to be teachable, and you have to self-develop. You have to be able to teach yourself and learn things by yourself. If your spouse constantly has to teach you everything, literally, you are making them feel like they have another child to cater to. If they have to teach you to pray, if they have to teach you to apologize, if they have to teach you how to talk, I'm not saying that you should be perfect, but you must prioritize self-development. You must be teachable. If there are areas or behaviors or qualities where you yourself know, okay, this isn't good enough, you should be able to work on them by yourself. You should be able to self-develop. Your spouse should look at you and be like, oh, I love my spouse, I love my partner, because I know that they are working on it. They're not perfect, but I know they're working on themselves. They're trying to be better. So basically, it is working at being better. If your spouse has complained about how you look, maybe you're not taking care of yourself physically, instead of you taking it as an offense, take it as an opportunity and a challenge to become better, to work on yourself. None of us is perfect, that's the truth. But what makes us attractive is the fact that we're teachable and we're self-developing. We want to be better, we're learning how to be better. We learn in our own ways. Find your own unique way that you learn from. It could be watching videos like this, it could be reading books, it could just be being self-aware. Look at yourself and look at the areas where okay, I need to improve on these things, and improve of them. That makes you an irresistible spouse. So let me hear from you. Which of these ones are you embodying? Which of these qualities do you think, oh, I'm definitely on top of this one? Drop it in the comments. And which of the ones do you also think you need to work on? You can drop it in the comments as well. I would like to read from you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.